that's all I gotta come to y'all and say. I hope y'all enjoyed this. Actually, I don't hope that y'all enjoy it because I'm pissed, and then if you enjoy it, then you enjoy me being mad. Hey guys, so I had every intention on putting out a different type of video today, and my apologies. Look, y'all know I don't come to y'all all glammed up or none of that anyway, but I never come in a bonnet. But this is just literally that kind of day. It is currently 2:30 in the afternoon, and I have been, man, going back and forth and livid since I don't even know what time, since, before 12 o'clock this afternoon. So it's been about 2.5 hours now. I'm like extremely pissed. And I think what's making me even more mad is the one person that can calm me down is not available to talk right now. But it's just a really irritating situation. So this is all in regards to travel nursing. So I wanted to really put this out, and so you guys can have my raw emotions, because I guess, you know, sometimes on YouTube, it can make it seem like, oh, you know, these influencers, their life is so peachy, and, you know, oh, like with me, I have my finances together. Oh, life must be great for her. But listen, I go through things just like everybody else does. And because I do know that I'm starting to get a lot of followers from the nursing side of things, and those of you all who are interested in travel nursing, because I get emails all the time, I do want to tell you guys about this part of travel nursing that's not so glamorous. And when I tell y'all I am 38 hot right now, like, I'm even more frustrated because I can't even show my anger outwardly like I used to be able to, and that kind of used to be a coping mechanism for me. And I ain't talking about going around punching people or nothing like that, but it's just like I've trained myself at this point to not show my feelings outward as much, like negative feelings. So I'm even more pissed. So let me tell y'all about the situation. So as you guys know, I just told y'all in the last couple of videos that I recently accepted my second nursing contract, and I'm so sorry if you guys can hear this guy right here. He's doing some landscaping to his yard. My apologies. Actually, no, I'm lying. That's my sister on the blender. Never mind. So anyway, accepted the contract, right? I interviewed for this job. I can't even tell you when, but they had already accepted me and everything. And so when I first got the email about this job and all of the details and everything, they told me a start date of May 20th. When I actually ended up getting, you know, doing the interview and them sending me an offer, it was actually for a start date of the 6th. So this had already threw off a bunch of my plans, because I had planned to go to Atlanta mid-May, I believe. Yeah, mid-May. And oh my gosh, the lighting isn't even that great. Y'all can see my ring light is behind me. I don't feel like setting nothing up, okay? I'm pissed right now. But anyway, so I'm like, all right, so now instead of me going on my trip in mid-May, I'm going to have to push this thing up because they have pushed my start date up 2 weeks. Wasn't a big deal, whatever. I took myself off the schedule of my job here. I was supposed to work 2 days that particular week that I took off. I was like, whatever, I'm gonna go do my trip now and I'll be back. So typically what I like to do, because you guys know that I've only been on one assignment thus far, and before I started travel nursing, I told myself that because I had gone so long without working full-time, I hadn't worked full-time in like 3.5, 4 years before I got into psych and, you know, started working again. I told myself that because I'm used to having this time to myself for my business, whatever, before I go off to a travel assignment, I'm going to take 2 weeks off and not work at all, so that I can relax. I can get caught up on everything before I'm going back to work full time again. The other reason, not just for the relaxation, is because I have a terrible back. My back is structurally messed up. I was born that way, and I did not find out about it until a couple of years ago when I started going to the chiropractor. This thing is really bothering me. But anyway, so by the end of the 3-month contract in California, because I had not been going to my chiropractor every week like I do when I'm here, you know, my back was starting to bother me a lot. It was really hard for me to sleep. I start like getting urinary retention problems. I start getting problems with my ovaries, like different things like that. And so I'm like, okay, I need to relax a little bit. So this whole time since I've been back, I've been working my 2 days a week up until last week when I went to Atlanta, because between last week and this week, between last week and this week, these would have been the pay dates for me to get paid on May 8th, if I'm not mistaken. And so because I was starting the new position on the 6th, and my first payday I think would end up being on the 17th, I was just like, you know what? It's cool because there are 5 Fridays in May. I'll be getting paid from this new assignment 3 times. You know, forget the little money that I would have made at my PRN job. We're good, right? So fast forward to today. I signed the contract, I think no, not Friday, because I got back Tuesday. So I signed the contract officially on Tuesday, all right? And, or Monday. Was it Monday or Tuesday? Y'all, I don't even know anymore. I think it was Tuesday or Monday. Monday or Tuesday, I don't know. Either way, I signed the contract, I believe on Tuesday, and everything was good. My credential specialist called me yesterday. Today is Thursday. He called me yesterday and said, hey, I just audited your portfolio. Everything is good, right? And so beforehand, he had told me that everything was good besides the Tdap. And I told him, look, I decline vaccines, whatever. So when he called me Wednesday, he said, hey, you know, everything is good except the flu vaccine declination. And I'm like, what? Because we had just talked on Tuesday when he got back into the office and he told me everything was good. He don't need nothing else, whatever. So I'm like, okay, it's not even 24 hours later. Are you serious right now? So he's like, you know, the flu vaccine declination. And I'm thinking in my head, cool, just send it to me. I'll just re-sign it type of thing. He's like, at this particular facility, which... should I even say you know what? I'm not. At this particular facility, they require the flu vaccine. They require the flu vaccine. You cannot do a declination. So I'm like, all right, well, when is the end of flu season? Because I'm not getting the flu vaccine, okay? I have my reasons, which I'm going to explain to you guys in just a little bit. But I'm like, I'm not getting the flu vaccine. So when is flu season over? Because I'll just wait to start after flu season, especially considering I wasn't supposed to start until the 20th anyway. And they are the ones who pushed it up 2 weeks without any kind of notice, you know, whatever, which I was cool with. Like, I'm cool with starting 2 weeks early, whatever. So at this point, he's like, oh, well, let me give them a call and see. So he gives me a call probably 30 minutes later. He said, oh, you're good because flu season for this particular facility is over May 1st. You start on May 6th, so you're good. I'm like, cool. This was yesterday. So at 12 o'clock this afternoon, I don't get a call from the credentialing specialist. I get a call from my recruiter who I've been working with since my California assignment. And she says, hey, I have some bad news. I'm like, what? You know, I'm thinking they done pushed the start date back or something. She's like, well, this facility does actually require the flu vaccine and they require it year round. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? So I'm like, well, at this point, we just gonna have to find another assignment because I'm not getting the vaccine. So first of all, for me, I stopped getting vaccinations a while ago. I mean, I was fully vaccinated as a child, and you guys know the vaccines are probably 4 times as much now for these kids as when we were kids. But what I used to experience when I used to get the flu vaccine, I would get the flu twice in the 12 months after the flu vaccine, and then I would always get pneumonia once within that 12 months. And I'm talking about every single year without fail. And it would always be like around spring break in March, and then it would be around like the start of school in August or September. Every single year. When I stopped getting the flu vaccine, I stopped having issues. But the other thing was every single time I would get the flu, it would get worse and worse and worse to the point where the last time I had the flu, I couldn't move at all for days. Like literally, I could barely breathe. And I would have all of this like inflammation in my spine. Like it was very horrible experience. It was very painful to the point where at that particular point, they did a spinal tap on me because they thought I had meningitis. It was so bad. Okay. That's what they thought. Luckily, I didn't have meningitis, but at the time, they didn't know that my spine was structurally all messed up. So after I had that spinal tap, I could barely walk for like 2 weeks. Like it was horrible. So at this point, and like I said, my breathing was really horrible. Like, it was hard for me to breathe, and it was just all kind of issues. I have allergies and all other kind of things like that. I have what's called chronic costochondritis, which means that I get inflammation between my ribs, and sometimes it gets so bad to where you can't even feel my ribs anymore. So I have all these different like issues that are surrounding mainly when I'm getting flu vaccines. Again, haven't had very much problems with those since I stopped getting the vaccine. So the last time that I got what was it, the TB test, you know, they put a little bit underneath a little bit of the serum underneath your skin, and it forms a little bubble, and then it's supposed to disappear. Well, my doctor noticed that over time my reaction was getting worse and worse to this TB vaccine. Like, first they thought that I was actually TB positive because of how it looked on my arm, when in actuality it was a allergic reaction. The last time that I got this, which was I think 2 years ago, because now I get the chest x-ray and I get my blood drawn, my whole arm was swollen and it looked bruised. It was very horrible. And the nurse practitioner at the clinic that I went to, she basically told me, listen, you do not need to get vaccines or any of that kind of stuff anymore, because at this point, at the rate that your reactions are going, you can go into anaphylactic shock with the next one, and it's very dangerous. And so I took heed to that. Like, you know what? I'm cool with that. I'm not really the biggest advocate of vaccines and all of that anyway, just being 100% honest with you, and I'm not going to argue with you in my comment section. You have your way of thinking and I have mine. You got your opinions. You are more than, look, you are okay with having your opinions and how you do things. Me personally, I'm going based off of my personal experience. So at that point, I'm like, cool, I ain't got to get no more of this stuff. You know, anytime something comes up, I decline it. When at my job that I have in St. Louis, I always decline it. During flu season, I wear a mask. When I had the thing in California, I wore a mask. I was cool with that. What's frustrating to me and why I'm so pissed off right now is for a couple of different reasons. Number one, I just got off the phone with the credential specialist probably like 10 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago, and he told me that, oh, you know, I'm really mad because this is affecting other nurses at this point. And he's like, you know, our contractual agreement with them states that, you know, their flu season is from here to here, and that's the only time that you need to have the vaccine is during the flu season. And so he said that I guess their contact point at this particular hospital is trying to tell them that, oh, no, those policies changed in 2015. What? How? When? You know, so he's frustrated, but I'm even more frustrated because I'm like, look, you know, I've already stopped working, you know, because I knew that I had this position. I had already signed the form. You had already told me that everything has gone through. And now I'm trying to figure out, like, number one, if I have to find another position, which I have talked to so many different agencies this morning. That's why I'm still looking like this. I ain't went nowhere. I ain't ate nothing, drank nothing, nothing. Okay, I've been on my computer, on my couch this whole morning. So I found another position that's number one closer, and it pays more. Actually, the cost of living isn't as high. And from my understanding, they don't require the flu vaccine, but I just reached out to the recruiter to ask her, can you reach out one more time just to make sure, because I don't have time for this. The unfortunate part is if I interview for that one and they have two positions open, if I do get accepted, it doesn't start to the 20th, which pushes my income back even more. And for me, I don't really freak out about that, you guys, because this is the exact reason why I have the huge buffer of my checking account. I've had people ask me that, and I promise y'all, I'm getting caught up on comments, but this is the kind of stuff I'm dealing with on the back end and why I'm so behind on comments and replying to you guys. But so I'm not really freaked out about that part, because I would have to basically burn through $4,000 in the next like 30 days for that to even be a thing. And I still have a $3,000 mini emergency fund, a $12,000 true emergency fund. So I'm not going to burn through any of that. And, you know, at the end of the day, even if I get this one and I start on the 20th, my first payday would be, my first payday would be like May 31st. So I would basically have to go all of May, depending on very little income. Now, what I could do, because the way that my current job is, I get paid every other Wednesday, and so the May 8th payday is from the 14th through the 27th. I still could technically go to work today, tomorrow, or the 27th for me to get some kind of money on the 8th. But if not, I technically could work the like basically 6 to 8 shifts. I would probably push it to 8 just to, actually no, I typically work 2, 4, 6, 8. I typically work 8 shifts in a month. So yeah, I would have to work like 8 shifts in a 2-week time frame for me to basically get paid on the 22nd the amount for the whole month of May that I would typically make, you know, for the whole month instead of like a 2-week period, if that makes sense. Which I don't really want to do that, but if I have to, that's okay, because I would stop working on May 11th, which would give me about 8 days or so before I start my full-time job, which is not, I would rather have 2 weeks, but that's okay. It is what it is. But my biggest frustrations is that, you know, as a facility, if you change something in 2015, how come your contractual agreement with the travel agency has not updated? Like, it's 4 years later. So, you know, it's just frustrating. I understand that every facility has their own rules, and I do understand that there are facilities out there who do require it. They don't let you wear a mask, whatever. It's just frustrating that that's something that's not put out there up front. So if you are somebody who is looking into travel nursing and even just healthcare jobs, period, if you are against flu vaccines, if you are allergic, make sure that is something that you ask up front before you do checklists and resumes and interviews and all of that. Because at the end of the day, it's pointless. It's a waste of your time. Forget their time. It's a waste of your time to go through all of that if you can't even accept it because of this, or because, you know, you accept it and now you have to decline it because of that one particular thing. The other thing that really got to me was my recruiter, and this is why I've looked for a couple of other recruiters at different agencies, and also different agencies sometimes have access to different listings, so that's another reason why. But she kept asking me the same thing over and over, like, oh, have you looked into the allergy-free ones? Have you looked into this? Oh, here's the name brand of the allergy-free ones. Look at what's included. Listen, I specifically told you, the first thing out of my mouth was, listen, I'm allergic to the preservatives and the metals that are in them, okay? Now, I can touch the metal with my hand and be okay, but when it's in my bloodstream, it has some other kind of effect that I am not okay with, okay? And the thing is, the allergy-free vaccines typically just don't have eggs in them. If you look at all of the things that are included in these vaccines, the mercury, the metals, and all these different preservatives that are in there, you could be allergic to any of these ingredients. And my nurse practitioner particularly told me that she feels that I'm allergic to either the metals or the preservatives because I've had these reactions to different vaccines. So she doesn't believe that it's only just the serum or only just the, she thinks that it's a wide variety of things that I'm allergic to in there, which when you have different allergies like seasonal allergies and food allergies and stuff like that, you're more likely to have allergies to other things anyway. But it was just like, lady, I keep telling you I'm allergic to that. Why do you keep telling me to look this stuff up? I'm good. I'm not going to put myself on anybody's deathbed for anybody's job, no matter how much they're paying, because it ain't worth it to me. Even when you go to the CDC website, the CDC specifically tells you on their website, if you have allergies, they still recommend that you get the vaccine, particularly in like a high acuity area, so that if you have anaphylactic shock or any type of like severe allergy, that you can get treatment right away. Now, y'all do know that, like, just because you get shot with an EpiPen or you receive some other kind of medications to try, you know, Benadryl, anything like that, to try to get the allergy to stop having that affecting your body, that it's not 100% that it'll work. So you are recommending for me to literally put myself on my deathbed in hopes that whatever your treatment for my allergy to this vaccine works? You're out your mind. Like, literally, you're out of your mind. So, yeah, I needed to vent because, like I told y'all earlier, my one person that can keep me calm is not available right now. But also, I wanted to put this information out there for people who are looking for travel positions or any medical healthcare type of positions. If they do not allow declinations and you decline either for allergy reasons, or maybe it's your religious, or maybe it's just your personal views, make sure y'all ask this stuff up front. I am pretty much flexible on almost anything except number 1, vaccines, and number 2, working days. Oh yeah, and number 3, working 8-hour shifts. I ain't doing 8-hour shifts. Now I might take one position as an 8-hour shift just to try it out one time. It ain't gonna be no time soon. But nights, no vaccines, and I need 12-hour shifts. You have to know what you will and will not allow. There are too many opportunities out here. You know, as you continue to have different certifications and degrees and all this experience, there's too many opportunities out here for you to just settle on one all because they require this thing and you are not okay with that thing. It just is what it is. It's all based on ethics. It's not just about the facility's ethics. It's about your own personal ethics for yourself as well. So let's see. Okay, so good news. The second position that I'm looking at right now, if this one falls through, their flu season was over March 31st. So I'll be okay. So that makes me happy. But yeah, so I will keep you guys updated. But for now, I'm just frustrated. I'm pissed. And I'm even more mad because I don't, you know, throw things and punch things and cuss people out and, you know, stuff like that I used to do that would help me with my anger sometimes. But don't worry, I've never hurt anybody. It's just, hey, you know, everybody has their thing. Sometimes I would get on a video game. Video games don't really help me to calm my anger down anymore, probably because I don't play shooting games as much. But yeah, y'all, like if you're looking into these kind of things, this is something that is very important. Don't end up like me thinking that you got something and now you got to retract because of something so small. Like, I think the other thing that makes me mad is we are on a psych unit where you have to be 100% medically clear before you go onto this ward. Okay, you can't, if you have like a urine specific gravity that's too high because, you know, you're dehydrated, they won't even let you on the psych unit. If your calcium level or your potassium level is like 0.2 too high outside of the range or 0.2 too low outside of the range, they won't even let you on the psych unit. So it's like you got to be medically clear, so you got to make sure that they don't have the flu before they come up in here. So what's the problem? Because if your nurses get the flu, you automatically tell them to stay home anyway. And it's not even guaranteed that I won't get the flu if I get the flu vaccine. Do y'all know how the vaccines work? They take the ones that they go based off of the history. They take the strains that they think, okay, they think are going to be the most deadly or the most potent or the most, that they'll see the most for this season. And that's what they basically vaccinate you based off of. But you can get a strain based on one that's not included in that vaccine and still get the flu. You can actually get the strain that's included in the vaccine and still get the flu anyway. Like, it's so, the flu vaccine don't make sense to me. It don't. It really don't. And it doesn't make sense why it's required on the psych unit. So, I mean, it is what it is. And, you know, like I said, I respect any facility and their rules and regulations. But, hey, if you claiming that you updated this 4 years ago, can y'all please update y'all contract? Because I done did all of this for nothing. I could have been secured a contract elsewhere, like 2 weeks ago. 2.5 weeks ago. Like, come on, man. But anyway, that's all I got to come to y'all and say. I hope y'all enjoyed this. Actually, I don't hope that y'all enjoy it because I'm pissed. And then if you enjoy it, then you enjoy me being mad. No, but really, I hope that y'all enjoyed the video. I don't even feel better now that I've like vented, to be honest with you. I'm still like 38 hot, but whatever. Tomorrow, you guys will get a regular like finance video from me. So it'll be the budget results for this week. And I guess probably Monday, I'm going to have to update you guys on like how I'm going to have to do things as far as my income and stuff goes for May and all of that. Because right now it's just up in the air. So yeah, please thumbs up. What? Please thumbs up this video. Subscribe if you haven't already. But other than that, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.